footage to handle everyone. That was an exciting slight little problem. I understand, Bob, there was 11 first-time people, and it wasn't even a meeting. It was just a potluck get-together. How many out of the 11 new members joined?
1 second, Richard. 11 out of 11 joined, and let me unmute you again. You got muted again. Then that's for a reason. Hold on. There we go. I got you. Come on. You're up on the mountain. I can tell.
No. I'm. And listen, I only got 5 minutes. I just wanted to, because my grandkids are crawling all over my back. I'm at my daughter's new home. But testing 1, 2, 3. How do you read me, Mr. Bob Reid?
Loud and clear, wall to wall.
You know, Bob Reid, I've been doing this 3.5 years, and the most exciting 6 days ever in the history of 7K Metals was hanging out with you and that wild, incredible, full of life, energized bunny, Wayne Clark and his team and your team and George and Sandra Donaldson and top 15 contest winners are all on your team. So many silvers, so many golds, the first gold executive. Man, I tell you what, it was a whirlwind, fun. You coming out to Idaho Falls soon, Mr. Gold Associate Bob Reid?
Absolutely. Pamela and I just made our reservations today. In fact, we're coming early and leaving late.
Good.
We love that land up there.
I'll be there to roll out the red carpet. Listen, forgive me for having to exit, Bob, but I just wanted to say that listen carefully. Richard Wayne Hansen boldly and clearly states the #1 trainer in 7K Metals is Mr. Bob Reid. And I say that because documentation beats conversation. Papa. Yes, come say hello. No. That's my grandson. I love you all. Gotta go. Be blessed.
Love you too, Richard. Thanks so much, man.
All righty.
Okay. So that's good. We got that at the very beginning with Richard joining us. I'm glad he did. So what the message I want to kind of share is, oh, by the way, he lost track of time. It was 8 days. Not 6. And so, and no, maybe it was 7. I'm sorry. I lost track of time. We split the difference at 7. And, but Richard flew in to San Antonio and we started immediately. Now we did house meetings. We didn't book a hotel room. We didn't do anything like that because we hadn't got big enough to do hotel rooms. Back when I built my business, the big business in '96 that I joined after Richard in Baton Rouge, I was 18 months later joining the business, and I built it out of my home. And my home, it was a big home, 5,000 square feet of living area. So I had a huge den, I had a huge living room, had a huge foyer, we had a huge game room. So, I mean, we could pack 150 people in a room in the house and they could all see and hear things. And you really weren't that squunched up. But when you got to 200, you were squunched. You were standing side by side with one another. Well, last week was the last week of the contest. Now, what you didn't know is Wayne had set a goal, and he wanted to make executive goal. I mean, he was determined to make executive goals. So he sets goals. He sets daily goals, and daily IPAs, income producing activities. And Wayne asked me, what did I do back in '96 that I had 5,000 people in my organization after 4 months? And I said, well, I got my leaders, my big leaders, my running leaders on my left, my running leaders on my right. And we went to work, and we went to work using my system. We share it with our friends and family first. We give them first chance to say no, but we don't try and convince them. I mean, if they don't say yes, it's okay. Next, then we go back to them later, and then we let them see all that they've missed. And you just keep going back to them, see all that they miss in your regular course of conversation and family matters. What you've got to learn is relaxed intensity. Relaxed intensity is a skill. It's a real skill set. And when you have that, how you carry yourself, and it doesn't have to be that you know everything. It's just that you carry yourself that you know what you know, and they don't know what you know. So a person's objections, if it affects you, look in the mirror because you're the problem. There is not an objection that affects me personally in the brain. I mean, they can be negative all they want, goes in one ear, right out the other, doesn't resonate a nanosecond in my brain. And that's the way it should be with you. Now, you have to get there. You have to develop some skills and some attitudes to get there. I admittedly, people can hurt you with their words and their actions. I understand that. But in business, we can't take it personal. We got to treat it as business. Now, one thing I'm going to focus on tonight is business. And I know everybody's heard me over and over and over and over and over and over many times. But, before I ever got in network marketing, I spent almost a year evaluating multiple franchises to buy because I basically had no life in the corporate world. All I did was get on the airplane, go overseas, work from daylight to dark on the phone because the corporation was open when I'm supposed to be sleeping, and we're doing international contracts and joint ventures and mergers, and I'm on the phone with lawyers, and it's just an impossible situation. I literally, I've never told this before, but I came back on a trip one time, and it's before we got into network marketing. I came back on a trip. It was about 89. I went to buy my wife either a birthday gift or an anniversary gift, and I was at a jewelry store in a mall, and I was looking over some things, and I found some things I really kind of liked, and I was just kind of not feeling too hefty, but I just returned from like about a 32-hour flight that had all kind of delays and backups and all this stuff. And I just kept wanting to go. I did not want to stop and stay in a hotel. I want to get home. And all of a sudden, the next thing I know, I woke up on a stretcher with my wife there. You okay? You okay? We're on the way to the emergency room. They said I had a heart attack at a very young age. But when they did the EKG and all that kind of stuff, I don't know, all that, I did not have a heart attack. My heart stopped beating, but I did not have a heart attack. It took almost 2 years, tons of testings. And that's when I came back to the United States for a while, and I was national sales manager, and I just consulted the international people to help them while we were still developing the business. And after 2 years, And we did everything in the world. We did every test in the world. I mean, I had heart casts, you name it. And they said, you can drive trucks through your arteries, Bob Reid. And the cardiologist finally said, well, we finally figured out what's wrong. Uh, your your body your body sends an electrical signal to your heart that keeps it beating. That's where when you see people, they get those pads put on them and they boom, and they reviving them. That's to shock their heart back into beating again. And they said, you were so out of whack. Your whole body never knew if it was up, sleeping, supposed to be what digesting food. It did not know left from right, back from front, and your heart just stopped beating. It didn't send a signal. And I was just blessed that, they put that thing on me and shocked me and got me back to life. No, I didn't see any lights and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I just woke up and saw my beautiful wife. That was a great thing to see, but I didn't know why I was in an ambulance. That was for sure. Well, I think that I was really motivated to get out of the corporate world. I was truly motivated to get out of the corporate world. It's been a whole year evaluating those franchises. Never knew a dadgum thing about network marketing. And y'all know I settled in on one that would cost $300,000. I could get a loan. I did all the pro forma balance sheets and all that kind of stuff it takes to go to the bank and fill out all the apps and do all that kind of stuff, and showed them my business plan, when I'm going to break even, when I'm going to make profit, all that kind of stuff. And I got $3,800 in overhead costs. And I got to hire people to run it while I'm on the other side of the world, because I can't quit, because everybody knows you can't start a business and expect to make money right away. And I was making $15,000 a month way back then. That's a lot of money, Bob Reid, in 1991. Okay? That's a lot of money. So you know the kind of job I had. And believe me, everybody was after my job. I came home every night when I was home bleeding from all the knives in my back, because, man, if they could get my job, then they had that money, and Bob was out. That's the way it is in the corporate world. Very few little positions up there when you get that high. So I wanted out. I had a burning desire to get out. And then when I got introduced to network marketing, I just could not believe what I saw. But I didn't look at it like you go get these people and you get them and you sell them that. I did not even look at it that way, y'all. And this is the problem if you're looking at this business that way. I looked at it as if I spent $1,000 to start my own business. All I had to do was buy the products of the company to keep the lights on in my business. That was my overhead. I didn't have to pay $3,800. I didn't have to hire somebody when I'm on the other side of the world. I can't control what they're doing, and they could rob me blind. And then I'm sunk. And then everything I've worked for all my life, we lose everything. Yeah, I talked to myself in the mirror. I went to the mirror before I went to the next day to get that $300,000 loan. I had an appointment set. And I said, Bob, you're the smartest, stupidest person I ever met in my life. I said, you're going to get a loan for $300,000? And you're going to have to hire people, and your biggest problem, the reason you have to work like you do so you don't lose your job, is you have to do 2 times what your employees don't do because they're lazy or they're incompetent. And it has to be done because it's a no excuse environment. So I was real dejected. Trust me, I was so down in the dumps. I mean, you talking about Bob Reid, it was almost depression set in on me, you know? And then here comes my marketing director from St. Louis, and he's talking about face creams and shampoos and getting rich and making money in this company and just slobbering all over me about getting rich. And y'all know the story. I did a Harvard MBA case study on it. I flew around. I really verified these people made money. I did all my work. Man, I just went down. I went to work. I mean, I made time. I carved time. I did whatever that. I didn't care if I got 1,000 no's one day. I'm doing it again. I'm keeping on going because there's people out there that feel like me. I know there's people out there that feel like me. I put those 20 pennies in one pocket, and I didn't go to bed until all 20 pennies were transferred to the other side. And I was slapping personal care products. Christine, you hear me? I was slapping personal care products. A man, big corporate executive. But I got up. But what I did is I built a team. I taught teamwork. I taught how you build a team together. And I taught Evelyn Ware was in my first business. I met Evelyn Ware through that company. That's when I first met Evelyn. She's on the call tonight. Oh, and Evelyn's got her a monster business under her now. Excuse me. I got a little sinus infection. It's sinus. It's my head. Stopped up. And I met Evelyn. I got up to about 10,000 a month by helping people like Evelyn, people like Woodrow Venable, carpenter at Georgia Pacific. Can you imagine a carpenter at Georgia Pacific being in New Skin with me? He and his wife were. Now, that was uncomfortable for Woodrow, but I taught him how to get over that discomfort. It's how bad you want it. How bad do you want it? And so I wasn't making enough money. I didn't know, I knew I'd done something wrong, but I didn't know what it was. I know the computer came along at that time, email, internet, and then multi-level marketing, the old multi-level marketing, which I was in. That's what I was in. Stair step, breakaway, compensation plans. And they started having binaries, tertiaries, unitaries, all kind of combinations and permutations so that you can make money quick, fast, and often. More fast start bonuses, all kind of things. Telephone cards coming up, diet, weight loss pills. I mean, they had companies coming out of the woodwork in 95 and 96. And I looked at a lot of them. Trust me, I did. I looked at Excel hard because I said, man, I need to do that. And I didn't because I knew that all electronics, all services business ultimately turn into a corporate business. And I was right. But I just stuck with it. And then I really went after some executive recruiting. And since I knew how to hire corporate executives, that's what I went. I went after people who their companies were shutting down and they were at the top of their company, and I knew they'd be looking for another company. And I knew if we could hook up with their networking experience and their network and my knowledge and my ability to optimize a comp plan and develop it and teach and train, that we could make a fortune. We could do what the earlier guys did. Well, he slapped some sense in my head. He really did. He came over to Baton Rouge. He stuck those gold coins in my hand. He said, that's the company I joined about a little bit more than 4 weeks ago. It's gold coins. I said, they ship you those things? He said, yeah. I said, how much they cost? $660 for 10 of them. Whoa! I said, that's the most expensive products in the marketplace. Man, I can get that for $380 right now. All 10 of them. Yeah, he said, but you know, if you get 5 on your left and 5 on your right, you can put it on partial payment and then you can earn them. Or you put up $660 and then get a check. And then that reduces the amount you paid for them. I said, that makes good, plain sense. I wasn't able to buy gold coins anymore. So, man, I wanted to get some gold again. I was right at the point of having to spend some of mine because I had about 120 grand in credit card debt. And I dreaded having to go into my gold and silver and breaking some of it up and spending some. So I asked him to give me the paperwork, and it was all paper. No computer, no internet, none of that stuff. It was all paper. I had to go get a money order for $1,980. 3 times 660 is $1,980 because I wanted those coins in my hand. I wanted to make sure they shipped them to me. Well, they shipped them to me. I called up my guys and gals in New Skin, my 8 leaders. They came over to the house, and I put 2 of them on my left leg, 2 of them on my right leg, 2 of them on my inside leg on the left, 2 of them on my inside leg on the right. I said, now we're going to go to your people and we're going to give them a choice to say, first chance to say no. I already had a network, y'all. Now you need to understand, I worked real hard. I worked 3 years part-time and built up a $7,000 check in New Skin before I quit my job, and then 18 months full-time to $10,000 a month. And that's hard money, okay? And so we just went pop, 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 because I presented it. I didn't let them present it. I presented it. Then we did not have a VHS video when I started that business. All we had was the gold coins and me to be able to take a whiteboard or some piece of paper, draw up 3 circles, and show how I recommend we build this business as a team, a one another business. And I developed my system and my binary optimization right there. Now, I had never done a binary, but I'm a chemical engineer and I'm pretty dead gum good in math. And I don't need somebody to teach me binary mathematics. And so we exploded, but I worked hard. I worked daylight to dark. We had meetings at my house every hour on the hour. And if they didn't bring people to me and let me, I told them, bring them by the head of the hair, one in your left ear. Didn't I, Evelyn? Just shake your head. By the head of the hair, screaming and yelling. Bring them in the head of the hair over to my house. I'll take the brunt. I'll guarantee you that people that came to my house, 98% of them got in the business. And the ones that didn't got in later. I had 5,000 people in my business in 4 months. I made $6,600 a week in 4 weeks. Hey, that was enough to replace my salary. I didn't have to go back to work. And I was at home. And this was fun. This was plain fun. Oh, yeah, we got all the objections. Oh, it costs that much. It costs this much. I said, hey, where's your brain? How much gold do you own? None. Well, here's a chance to earn it. And it's a business. So I presented it as a business analogy. And guess what analogy I used? Franchise, because I just did a year's worth of studies on that. Here you buy a franchise for 50 grand. Here you get a business in a box for $4.99, not 50 grand. So you aren't You aren't jeopardizing your life. You aren't going to go broke. You aren't going to lose everything. But if you don't get in this and learn how to do it with me and hook up, be a partner with me, you really going to lose out more than you know. And so you got to get to that point that you can do that with the people you know or the people you meet. I did in San Antonio, and I didn't even know them. They were plain strangers. But I told people, if you don't interrupt when I'm talking to people, and don't apologize for the way I talk to people, because I'm just telling them the truth. There's no apology necessary when you're telling a person the truth. Now, I'm not rude and crude. I'm just factual. And that's all we have to do is be factual. So let's look at this. One on the left and one on the right. And I proved in 3.5 years that you could use my system and do this part-time. And I started out with a bunch of old people like me. Okay? Put them on the left. Put all my Baton Rouge people together. I let them sign up under one another. I only signed up 2 of them. So I personally sponsored only 2. I called around, got some other people around the other states. And I just said, 7K medals, we're going to do it all over again, kind of like Richard. I said, just do it and get the family business back. And if you don't, you're going to regret it. Some got it, some didn't. But the ones that got it are all making money, or they got a ton of money in their bank account. They've made money, they haven't lost money. And if they ever just get one, if they run into one Wayne Clark, or if they run into a person who runs into a person who runs into a person and runs into a Wayne Clark, they can set themselves up easily to make $2 grand a week for the rest of their lives. So let me share my screen a little bit. So I want everybody to see this big picture that I talk about all the time. And we are in this because I told Wayne he did not want to go. I mean, he really didn't want to do this. This took time away from them. I said, this is going to how you're going to just get tons of people joining and get some momentum and a roll going. And it becomes contagious. And this whole week was contagion. We spread faster than that old coronavirus did. Now, we drove all the way to San Antonio, Wayne and I. We met Richard there. He flew in. Okay. Now, y'all know exponential expansion. You get your 2 today. So quit looking at this as a week. You get your 2 today, because that's how I looked at it. And then you help them get their 2, and you find another one. You just place them on your left or right. You're helping them. And if you have 4 in your team tomorrow, they were only half as good as you. And you duplicate that first week, you'll have 64 people in your business. And on that 7th day, you can double it. I know that's a fact. I did it back in 96. I did it the slow way since 2016. So it doesn't matter if it's months, weeks, or days. And after 12 weeks, 4 months, I had more than 4,000 in I had over 5,000 in my group. And I'd already turned some $18,000 checks. That was pretty good in 1 week. That pretty hefty. Okay. And so we have that same opportunity, but we don't have to do it the way we did back in the first company. This company has it built in the comp plan that you build a team and you drive your legs. And if you get your business family pack like I did, and that's $900, $499, $199, $199. Okay. I'm gonna put my wife in before I talk to anybody else. Put my son in, put my business, put her business in, whatever. Put a trust fund for the kids in. Okay, it's gonna be on top. Okay, and then what do? I drive that leg. Now, what if they repeat what you did? And that's what we're doing. They repeat what you did. There's a business family back at 250 points. There's a business family pack at 250 points. Wow. If this person brings one in, there's one. And here's one. It's just a matter, do you want to make money fast? Or are you just scared to death you're going to lose money and it ain't going to work for you? If that's the way you start in the business, no wonder you're not successful. You got to start it with a successful attitude. People do what you do. People start where you start. They're going to ask you, how'd you get in? I'll guarantee you. Then they're going to say, I'm going to get in like you get in. Most of them. Now, and then what are you doing? You get to earn while you learn for 2 years. Just take that right attitude. I'm earning. Don't look at Wayne. Don't look at Bob. You don't have the skills, attitudes, and techniques that Wayne Clark has and Bob Reid has yet. But you can get them in 2 short years. Everyone can, if you'll focus on developing yourself. You can. Remember on Diane Graver's leadership call that Saturday morning, Coffee with the Leaders, I coined another statement that I put in the market that's mine. Nobody else's, it's mine. I thought of it, I wrote it down, and I put it in. Think I can and live accordingly. Bob Reid, 5/30/2020. That's just like the one I did back in 1991. I would do today what others won't so I can have tomorrow what others can't. No, you can Google that all you want on the internet. None of them meet the date that I had. They just stole it from me and didn't give any credit for it. But the people in Family Vigos with me in the gold and silver business, they know where it came from. We got plaques all over the place with it. Because that's how I raised my children. Do today what others won't so you can have tomorrow what others can't. Do your homework. Don't say I can't. Don't say it's hard. Say I'm just going to keep trying my best. I'm going to put my time in. I'm going to really earnestly try. That's all you do. Well, this is at 5 to 10 hours. Now, many of you aren't getting your people trained and into their website. And that's very critical because we got the associate training and the buyer certification, which tells all about the products and answers a ton of questions. And you got to get your people you personally sponsor on those. That's very, very important. And it's for them. It's for them because they got to have a good understanding. And then they'll with that helps develop that attitude. Knowledge is powerful. And so we want to absorb knowledge. And that's what we do. That's why I put the training. Most of the time you're working is not prospecting people. I do 5 a day. In the last 3 years, I've averaged 5 a day of my own prospects that I went out and got. And then Pamela and I worked her business together. She's a goal associate. I'm a goal associate. And in 1 week, heck, I could have made a whole bunch more. I maxed out a $7,000 check, and she almost made a $7,000. She made $6,500. We did it in another week again. I mean, 13,500 in a week, that's pretty good money. As Richard Wayne Hansen says, after that whirlwind tour, you know, he said, you know, Bob, did you make 7,000 a week for 3 consecutive weeks in a row? I said, yep, my team did it, Richard. My team did it. They went to work. They have the gleam in their eye. They are dreaming again. And that's what I want. I want to help you. Like I told Pamela back in May of this past year, I got to take this company serious. This company is going to be a mega giant. I got to go find some younger people who have that fire in the belly, who want to dream, who want to way out like I did, who are going to go through brick walls. Nothing's going to stop them. You get one of those on your left and one of those on your right, you'll eventually make that 12,500 a week. And on the way, just enjoy the $2,000 a week checks and watch all that volume go. But don't regret that volume going away. I mean, I flushed $7,000 last week. And the week before, I flushed another $7,000 because I wasn't the executive goal or presidential goal. But I still couldn't have made everything. I was going to flush something. If I'd have been presidential goal, the most I could have made was $12,500. I still had $1,500 to throw away. Isn't that cool? Well, it went to the company so the company can pay everybody. That's the way the comp plan is designed. This is such a beautiful, beautiful company. One of people helping people. One of us teaching people why they need to own gold and silver, how to buy it, how to buy collectible coins, how to become part of another $4.2 billion market, the numismatic market. That is so powerful, everyone. And all you need is to make sure the person you're talking to knows that you're sharing from your heart to their heart, that you're sharing. You certainly aren't trying to sell them or get them into anything. I'm sorry, excuse me for that call. But I'm gonna say, I hope you catch the vision that I tried to impart to you, because what I'm going to do is do one more share, if it's okay. And I'm going to show you what I was talking about. Okay. Now, when you have a person down this leg and a person down this leg, and let's say that person didn't buy Business Family Pack and they just sponsored you there and they sponsored a person over there. Okay. They're not even active. Well, then you're not going to collect money in the bank. Now, I bought a coin in all 3 of our tracking centers, and it accumulated all this volume here, left and right in this tracking center's right account. And every time I bought a coin, it went to the left, and here it went to the right. And so we get credit for our own purchases. That's pretty neat. And so, you know, and we get loyalty points. Many people discount the loyalty points. And so I don't care if somebody says they can't find our coin somewhere else on the internet. That's just plain BS. But even if it was true, it don't matter. Why? That's the overhead, and you get a product of value, and it allows you to make a check. Okay, that's the old traditional way. So think in the old traditional way. But I look at these coins as extremely valuable, like the $1.2 million mistake. And that's what we have to keep referring them back to. Well, let's say this person, you know, let's say this is you. And let's say you sponsored a couple of people and you put them on your lap, and that's it. You don't have anybody else here. But this leg is gone out it's blown out. It's gone infinite levels down there. You got a Wayne Clark down there. You got all this volume coming up every week. Okay. Well, you may not find somebody this week. You may not find somebody next week. But if you keep doing the same consistent things all the time, if it takes you 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, not losing money, you're making money and you're accumulating wealth. And if you place one person here and they start making a $500 check, you're going to make a $1,000 check, because you'll have 500 points on the left, 500 points on the right coming up, and that 500 stack up different, okay, every week during the month. And so you're going to make $1,000. You got that volume added. Now, what if that person finds a person and they start making a $500 check, and that person finds a person, or another person finds a person, or you find another person, you place them down there? What if you have 5 people making a $500 check over there? Well, 5 times 500 is 2,500 in volume on both sides. Okay, that's 500. That's 5,000. That's 5,000 every week coming up. You can make, if you rank up to bronze, you're going to make 2,000 a week. If you rank up to silver, you'll make that 3,500, and you'll flush 1,500. And we got a lot of people above me that's doing that. But let me tell you, they're working every day, trying to sow the seed, sow the seed, sow the seed. Okay. Now, I came in here and my wife's account was here, and it was big and fat with volume. And but the COVID virus kind of hurt us with a lot of things, but everybody's getting back on track on the right side. And man, I let my wife, she sponsored Wayne. Now he emptied out her bank account, you know. And so all that volume came up, emptied out that bank account. We got paid on it, went up here, and I got paid on it again. Woo! Isn't that cool? You get leverage. You get paid on the same level of work. Okay. This company is only 3.5 years old. You'll never have an opportunity to get your family involved in a business, participate, learn about silver and gold, accumulate silver and gold. And for $900, your annual membership and your overhead to run your business, you'll never have another business with that kind of opportunity. You can make that kind of money. So practice it until you understand it, until you can present it to somebody too. And make sure you use 3 ways, recorded calls. Make sure you use your 7K Wealth System app. That is a great app. I love it. And then when you do and you have a business like this and this, that's how I did that 6,600 a week up there. But see, we were capped at 2,200 a week. But here we're capped at what? 12,500 a week. But I can't make 12,500 a week in 2 centers. But I can make 12,500 a week here, and Pamela can make 12,500 a week here. Oh, go! And then we can do a trust fund for our children. Okay, our grandchildren. We don't want to do it for our children. They're already in the business with us. Yeah, they're right next to Pamela too. Okay, so yeah, and so why not? Why not set up a trust fund for them? Build up coins and collect coins and let them manage it and have a business they can walk into. That is what's so powerful with this business. There is no greater opportunity than 7K in the world. I earnestly believe that. And I hope you see what I see. Y'all have a fabulous evening. I went a little longer than I intended to, but y'all have a great evening. And by the way, you probably caught it. If I'm traveling out of town and I typically can't do a Zoom, but there was no way I could do a Zoom on this trip. We were absolutely chock-a-block full. People that was over at George Donaldson's house, you know, both days understood. It was just revolving door. It was great. It was great. We need to do it again. Hey, love all y'all. See y'all on the beaches of the world. We're going up to the founders uh, getaway in July. And so we'll get information out on that. Y'all have a fabulous evening tonight. God bless.